Weak glutes are not the cause of your running injuries or issues with your knees. I know it sounds controversial. I've had so many runners come see me over the years who have been told that their running problems are caused by inactive or glutes that aren't firing or glutes that are weak. And that's simply not the case. This recent article in Outside Magazine, Reasons Your Knees Hurt Has Nothing to Do with Your Knees, perpetuates that myth. They argue that being a quad dominant runner is the main factor in knee injuries. And that's really not a thing, being quad dominant. The quads are the four muscles that sit on the front of your thigh. Their primary role in running is to control the knee and absorb the impact of landing with each step. One of the quadricep muscles also helps the hip flexors in swinging the leg forward with each stride. Now, the most important muscle in running gait to propel you forward are the calves, specifically the soleus, and also then the Achilles tendon. So we call that the calf-Achilles complex. That is the primary mechanism that drives you forward with each step. The glutes, and I'm talking specifically about the glute maximus, the big butt muscle we all have, is way down low on the list of importance in running muscles. Hip extension, they argue in this article, is a really important mechanism for running. And that's incorrect. You actually use more hip extension. Hip extension is simply the leg coming back behind the hip as you move. You actually use more hip extension in walking than you do in most running speeds. Once you get to sprinting, that's a different story. Hip extension becomes more important. But sprinting and distance running are not the same thing. They look similar, but it's not the same activity. Anyway, getting back to this point about being quad dominant, I would actually argue that a lot of people that have knee issues with running are quad deficient. They're asking too much of the quadriceps, thereby putting too much stress on the knee, and that's why they're having some problems. So what can you do about this? Well, there's three things you can do. One, strengthen your quadricep muscles. Doing things like leg extensions, leg press, squats, lunges. And there's variations of those things that you can do, like squats and lunges, that'll bias the quads a bit more. They use a lot of different muscles that they don't isolate, but you can do them in a certain way that it can help. You can feel the quadriceps a bit more. So strengthening quads is one thing. Two, strengthen your Achilles and calf muscles. Do heavy calf raises or calf presses on the leg press machine, and also do plyometrics like pogo hops and skips and other type exercises like that that'll help the springiness and the tendon stiffness, which will help with the propulsion mechanism. And three, you can change your running gait. One of the best ways to decrease stress in the knee and the hip is to increase your natural cadence by 5 to 10%. Now, one of the key things you have to remember if you do this is to keep your pace or speed the same. You just want to take more steps each minute than you currently do. Just increasing by 5 or 10% is enough to change the loading through the different joints. Now, you'll decrease the loading at the knee if you do this, but you will increase the loading through the calf and the ankle. So that's why you also should be strengthening your calf muscles to be able to withstand that additional loading. And of course, you've got to manage your training program. You don't want to do too much too soon, either too much volume or too much speed. That goes without saying. But if you're having knee issues, I would strongly argue that you probably should look at what's going on at the knee. Don't worry about too much about the glutes. You can strengthen them if you want. That's totally fine. There's nothing wrong with working on your glutes. But if you have knee issues, I would look at the quadriceps. I would also look at your calf muscles and maybe even look at your running gait, seeing if you're landing with your leg too straight. By shortening your stride, you will land with a more bent knee, which will decrease where the foot is in front of you and decrease the braking. So try those 3 tips and let me know how it goes.